Yo, what is going on, everyone? Septic here, and welcome back to that follow-up video. This time we're going to be talking about the best games of 2023. Well, the best games that I played. See, there were a lot of great games that came out this year. Thing is, I didn't really play that many of them. I was pretty busy a lot of the time, so I got to pretty much miss out on a lot of games. Really, like, some of the only ones I really got to play are like a certain handful of them. Like, I missed out on a lot of games that people played and really loved this year. Games like Baldur's Gate 3, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Street Fighter 6, Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16. Like, those are some of the ones that I missed out on that people really love playing. And people said were really good, but I ended up just never getting the chance to play them. Whether it be due to being unable to purchase them at the time being, or waiting for sales, or just in general just getting caught up in stuff that I just never had the chance to pretty much play them. But I did play at least 5 games this year. I actually played more than 5 games that came out this year, but I was able to narrow it down to the top 5, and I'm here to share with you my opinion on each one of them. So anyways, sit back, relax, and let's get right into the video. All right, let's start off with number 5, Persona 5 Tactica. We got ourselves another Persona 5 spin-off, this time in the form of a tactical RPG. Personally speaking, I was hoping that we would have gotten a fighting game, but you know what? A strategy RPG is really cool. I really like games like Fire Emblem. So I was definitely down for a Persona 5 strategy game. So let's get some of the positives out of the way. The story is enjoyable. It's really good. I really liked it. But it's nothing perfect, I will say. But it's a really fun story. Like, don't get me wrong. So I think the story was good. The characters are also really good. Characters like Arena and Toshiro, with Toshiro being my GOAT. They both were really cool to see, and I really enjoyed them all. As of making this video, I have yet to beat Repaint Your Heart. The new characters that were introduced there, I'm not going to say any names, just, to avoid spoilers, but I've enjoyed them as well. Not as much as the main characters, Arena and Toshiro per se, but they're really good too. As a matter of fact, speaking of story, I did enjoy what Repaint Your Heart did in the form of pretty much having more content with Kasumi and Akechi. To me, that's already a massive plus. I really enjoy Kasumi and Akechi as characters. So getting to be able to see more of them just made me happy. However, the gameplay, I gotta say, the gameplay, don't get me wrong, I think it's good. They have something there, but it's just not perfect. See, the game revolves around using a lot of gun damage. Gun and movement is what this game is all about. Movement you have, the more you can cover for triple threats, and of course, the longer the gun range, the better spacing you can have. Again, being far away from the enemies and being able to just do a giant triple threat to pretty much take them all out is pretty much the strat here. Skills don't really matter too much. Like, they show you all these skills. Oh yeah, you can inherit like the fire skills, the wind skills, but there's no point. Pretty much the only skills you really need to inherit are ones that increase your gun damage and range, any type of buffs, specifically movement buffs, anything that can increase your EXP and money, that way you can just level up quicker and get money faster, and anything to increase your voltage, with voltage being a character's special attack. You can only use it once it's filled up. Overall, other than that, like, a lot of abilities are just pretty much just skippable, and you only really prioritize that and you realize, wow, I really don't need to think at all. Like, once you start realizing this, you'll pretty much start dominating every single map. But overall, at the end of the day, I do think that Persona 5 Tactica was a fun game. I think it's worth trying out. I don't think it's a must-buy per se, especially at full price. I don't think that I would personally have bought this at full price if I was just a casual looking into it. But I would personally wait for a sale. I think the same applies to the DLC. Wait for it to go on sale and then give it a shot. If you want my rating of the game, I would rate it probably like a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe an 8 out of 10. But overall, I did enjoy my time with the game. Alright, next up at number 4, we have Fire Emblem Engage, the next installment in the Fire Emblem series. And where do I begin with this one? Now, let me tell you, I thought the idea of these emblems was very interesting. I wasn't like mixed about it. I thought it was pretty cool. If they can make a unique gimmick out of it, I was fine with it, but that's not where my complaints come from the game. So we're gonna go in order. First of all, really quickly going over the story, getting that out of the way. It's okay. The story is just plain all right. Kind of a shame too, because when you come back from the previous game like Fire Emblem 3 Houses, when I played that game and I got to see its story, its lore, that game was awesome in that aspect. Like the story, just delving into the story, delving into that lore, it was beautiful, man. Like I love this story. So I'm like, yo, if they can keep this momentum up with the next Fire Emblem game, we can get something amazing. But we really didn't get that with Fire Emblem Engage. The story overall is just average in my personal opinion, like nothing crazy. If I was to say compare it to Fire Emblem Awakening, which some people have said that that game has more of a generic story, I would rather play Fire Emblem Awakening, because at least with Fire Emblem Awakening, there was just a lot more memorable things that happened in that game compared to Engage's story. So yeah, overall, when it comes to the story, it's average. I will give credit to the story writers, because they did want to try to make more of like an adventure story instead of like a war story, which you will kind of see if you play the game. I'm not going to really delve into any details about that, but I can kind of understand what he was trying to go for in that case. But I think it does fall apart, and I wish they did kind of focus on like a war-like setting similar to Three Houses and everything. However, gameplay, oh my god, bro, the gameplay is perfect. This is like probably one of the best Fire Emblem games to play. It was so much fun, and I feel like playing it on a harder difficulty would have probably made me pissed off, let's be real here, but it would have been a really fun challenge. The gameplay is like 10 out of 10, man. There's like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that, yes, you can take advantage of, but I feel like it's not as cheesy as something like Three Houses, because Three Houses, the gameplay, I thought was fun, but the thing is that it is so easy to cheese. It was really not that balanced that well. Here, on the other hand, gameplay is great. The maps are fun to go through and traverse. They knew what they were doing with Fire Emblem Engage in terms of gameplay. I also do enjoy the art style. Not many people are going to say that about the game, but I think the art style is cool. But this one's more of a mixed opinion. As for graphics, I think we can definitely all agree with this compared to Three Houses. When you look at Fire Emblem Engage here to Three Houses here, yeah, the difference is night and day. Three Houses' graphics don't look that well, but Engage's graphics look good. Overall, I do think that you guys should try Fire Emblem Engage. I personally would rate this game around like an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's like a must buy, but if you can get your hands on it, it'll be really good. Oh, I also forgot to mention the DLC. So yeah, more emblems from previous Fire Emblem games. There's a DLC that's like a mirrored world of the events of the game, and it's alright. Like, it's just okay. Unless you can somehow get the DLC on sale, then yeah, you go ahead and jump into it, but I don't recommend just getting the DLC. Alright, moving on to number 3. We have Mortal Kombat 1. The next installment in the Mortal Kombat series, and it's a glorious return, guys. As a fighting game fan, Mortal Kombat 11, it didn't hit. Like, gameplay-wise, it was pretty weak. And it sucks. It pisses me off, because I'm a big action movie guy, right? So, seeing characters like Rambo, seeing the Terminator, like, oh, and seeing Spawn, oh my, bro, beautiful, 10 out of 10. Like, the gameplay was just, oh, bro, this is too slow. Like, I wish it was a little bit faster. And here comes Mortal Kombat 1, fixing the gameplay problems of Mortal Kombat 11 and just making the game absolutely enjoyable. I think this roster is incredible. Like, I really love the characters here. Each one of them plays really well, and I really enjoyed the story. I thought the story was really good. There are some things I'm not a big fan of the game, of course, in particular due to the microtransactions that WB has pretty much implemented that NetherRealm does. A lot of the character skins are locked behind like these really annoying invasions maps and everything that you have to pretty much do every single time. It becomes very tedious. And then a lot of the cooler skins are pretty much also locked behind paid DLC. So there's a lot of that. So I know a lot of people are going to be turned off by that aspect. But overall, it's a really fun time. Like, Mortal Kombat 1 was great. It made me smile. I was really happy to see Mortal Kombat kind of make this return, at least for me, because I really did not buy Mortal Kombat 11, and I didn't even buy X, which it had way better gameplay, but the thing with X is that I just didn't like the roster. And we still have more to go for Mortal Kombat 1's DLC, characters that are going to be in DLC 1 at least. You know, as of making this video, Omni-Man and Quan Chi are already here. We have Peacemaker coming out, we have Ermac, Takeda, and of course Homelander. We got a little bit left to go for them to release. But so far, like, this game is definitely going to be supported for a long run, and I am so ready for it. If I had to give this game a rating, I would probably give it an 8.5 out of 10, or maybe 8. Like, it really depends, like, around there pretty much. But if you can get your hands on a fighting game, definitely pick up Mortal Kombat 1. I say fighting game fans are really thriving right now. And of course, as I'm making this video, we're in 2024. We have Tekken 8 that's going to be coming out, so we're going to be eating good, guys. All right, coming in at number 2, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Let me tell you guys, I loved Fallen Order. Fallen Order was really awesome. And then how do they follow it up with an even banger sequel? First, let's talk about the story. And I think for the story, it's really good. Like, I thought the story was awesome. I liked what they showed here. I think I like 1 a little bit better than 2 story. But 2 story, like the 2 story was like really awesome too. Like, I really want to go into details, but just to avoid spoilers, you know, it was really awesome. They had some cool moments that like actually got me reacting a little bit. And when it comes to the gameplay, they just improve upon it. The gameplay just became way better. We have new stances for the lightsabers, stronger enemies. It was a really fun time. However, one negative I will say during my playthrough of the game, which apparently has been patched, is of course the bugs. There were a lot of bugs when that game launched. There was a lot of bugs in the game, a lot of crashes, freezing, and I know they've definitely apparently addressed those situations. Oh, and also FPS issues. There was a lot of frame rate issues while playing the game. And a lot of them have been addressed, and a lot of patches have come out to make the game playable. From my experience, I had to deal with all that, and I'm also going to rate it negatively the fact that we had to wait for patches like that in order to make the game way better. I want to rate it without the patches and everything. I would say the game's like an 8 or an 8.5, but with the patches and updates that already come out and everything, if you play the game, you're definitely going to have a better experience. But I would rate it with those patches and updates around an 8.5 to 9. This is a game that I definitely recommend you own. If you're a Star Wars fan, if you love Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, you're going to love Survivor. I had an absolute blast playing as Cal once again with the new stances, better gameplay. Like this game was absolutely great. Now, before I get to my number one pick, I need to give an honorable mention to this game. This game is not like an actual full release game, but it's actually a DLC. But if I had to consider DLC a game of the year, then this would definitely be it. But of course, I'm not going to be like that. But I do want to highlight how amazing of a DLC this was. And this honorable mention goes to Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed. You already know I had to fit this somewhere in this video. The finale of the Klaus saga. Again, I'm not going to delve into spoilers, but oh my goodness, what in the world is Monolith Soft cooking? Like, what do they have planned for this series in the future? Story-wise, oh, bangers, man. This is the stuff I was also waiting for. Like, Xenoblade 1 and 2 fans, like, for those that ate them up and who really were waiting for more references to that, we get them here. We got some awesome new characters that we get to be introduced to. Gameplay, the same thing as Xenoblade 3. Just with, obviously, you know, less customization in terms of classes and everything. You're pretty much locked into the specific character's playstyle. Let me tell you, Rex and Matthew dominate here. I loved both of those characters. Obviously, I love Matthew, new character. Rex, my GOAT, my favorite Xenoblade protagonist. I don't care. Awesome to play as. Like, they just do tons and tons of damage. Glimmer, an amazing support character. Really awesome character. Good healer, not as good as Glimmer in terms of gameplay. As a character, obviously, you know, if you know, you know. Obviously, I loved A as a character. The only two disappointments when it comes to their playstyles was Shulk and Nickel. Shulk, I love my boy, bro, but like, I really did not really enjoy playing him that much. Yes, he did play like Dunban, but a weaker Dunban, if I had to say so myself. As for Nickel, like, the best thing to do with him that I was able to do was just give him one of those items as accessories that just revives allies and just make him an unkillable revive tank. Like, those are the only really two disappointments when it comes to gameplay. Of course, Shulk is Shulk, so I really love this character. And Nickel, I really got to enjoy Nickel, and I thought he was pretty cool of a character. But I really think Future Redeemed really highlighted just the problems that tanks have in that game. Like, tanks are really not that good. And it's kind of a shame, but that's for a different topic. Other than that, new characters. Nael, I really enjoyed seeing Nael. And we got to see some fan favorites, you know, from the original, like Riku. Riku's back, doing Riku things. And, of course, N. Like, N is goated, bro. Like, N is easily one of my top 4 favorite villains of the Xenoblade series. But overall, it's really hard. It's really hard to talk about this game without going into spoilers. But let me just tell you right now, play Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And when you get that game, get the DLC. The DLC was just beautiful. Play it, guys. Like, you need to play the Xenoblade Chronicles 3. You need to play Future Redeemed if you haven't played it. Oh, and also, not only that, just play the series. Xenoblade Chronicles is a phenomenal game. Probably one of my favorite RPGs of all time. You need to play this game, man. Like, all the games on the Nintendo Switch, get them. No excuses. Get them at full price too. Like, bro, they're worth it. They're worth the full price. Anyways, enough being a Xenoblade shill. Let's get back to the top 5 best of 2023 for me. And that leaves us with number 1. And that final game is, of course, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Man, this game. Oh, okay. Like, this game was really fun, man. Like, it's just Spider-Man, but more and just way better. Like, if I had to describe my experience throughout the game, the beginning was hype. You're getting into it. You have this awesome fight with Sandman in the beginning to introduce us to Peter Miles kicking ass. Or I will say, as time goes on, you know, after we're introduced to Kraven, there's a pretty big slog. I will say I would say it's pretty slow for people. I kind of enjoyed my time with it, but I will say it is kind of slow. However, when you get that symbiote suit and you start getting the powers, oh, it's a 10 out of 10, bro. Oh my god, bro. When Peter starts being able to just do symbiote powers, it's over, bro. Like, that game easily became Game of the Year. And of course, there's one section in the game that I do not want to spoil. A lot of things I'm not going to spoil. Again, this whole video, I'm not going to spoil anything at all. But there's this one scene in particular that got me popped off, bro. I was popping off in my seat. It was absolutely amazing. I don't want to describe it, but let me just tell you, bro, like that in that section, bro. Oh my god, bro. Beautiful. 10 out of 10, bro. However, I will say getting to the final boss, while the final boss was enjoyable, like the last parts of that before the final boss were kind of a slog, especially if you've already done everything in the past. Overall, like, this game, in my opinion, is my Game of the Year, like, worthy of that title. Put that crown over its head. Like, that game, beautiful. This pretty much wraps up my 2023 list. Thing is, this list can change as time goes on. Again, I haven't played those games I mentioned early on, so if I play maybe Final Fantasy 16, maybe that ends up being my Game of the Year instead of Spider-Man 2. Time will tell, but as of making this video, my Game of the Year is Spider-Man 2. Anyways, guys, if you made it to the end of this video, I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click that like button. It'll really help me out. And not only that, hit that subscribe button as well. It'll really mean a lot to me if you guys join in here. Join the Septic Squad, I guess you can say. I would appreciate the support. Go ahead and share it around with others. Also, what were your top 5 favorite games? Let me know in the comment section down below. Anyways, I have a lot of videos as well I got to work on. We're in 2024. This video was supposed to be released way before then. I got bombarded with personal life stuff, work stuff. So I really wasn't able to get this video out before the end of the year. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you have yourselves a fantastic day and take care, everyone.